Alright, hey guys. So some people have been asking me, what is Venus's story? Let me. There you go. I had to click the fan off. She doesn't really like all that wind. But a lot of people have been asking me, what is her story? Well, like what happened to her, and why do I own her in the first place? So, I was in my kitchen one day, and I looked out the window, and, what are you doing, girl? And I looked out my window, and I saw this little wasp crawling around the ground on my back porch outside. And I've always loved wasp. Most of the time I see any of them crawling around, like on a windowsill or something like that, I always go to pick them up. And whenever there's one in my house, I never let it get swatted. I always somehow get it out of the house. But I saw her crawling around, so I went to go see if I can get her to fly away before any of my chickens get her. And when I walked up to her, I saw that the tip of her right wing was damaged. It had it looked exactly as it does now. It's never fully healed. But I noticed that about her wing. And so I picked her up and I brought her inside. I made her this nice little enclosure for her. I asked my friend if he knows anything on what wasps eat or how to take care of them. And he told me that they eat caterpillars and nectar, but a full-grown wasp can't eat solid food. It only eats what's left from the babies, like a little secretions, I guess. So I started giving her nectar, and I've had her for about a month now. And this whole month, she's really active today. And the whole month I've had her, not once have I been stung. She's never tried to sting me. She's just been really, really cool to have with me. It's actually been a wonderful experience having her. Now, I'm not the type of person that goes by anyone else's judgment over anything. If I feel like I can give an animal or any type of creature a chance to prove someone wrong, then it's gonna be up to my judgment for that, not going by someone else's. Like everyone always says, wasps are only out to sting you. That they're assholes. Yeah, they can sting you. She is capable of stinging me. You can't really remove a wasp stinger without really hurting it and possibly killing it. So I've never been stung in my life. To be honest, I don't even know if I'm allergic if I get stung. But I've held so many different species of wasp. I've held dirt doppers, yellow jackets, all types of paper wasp. I've held honeybees. I mean, honeybees are not a wasp, but I've held honeybees, and never once have I been stung. I actually personally think that these are really, really calm insects that just want a little bit of respect. So I took her in, and I wanted to see what I can do for her, you know. I mean, I honestly, when I first had her the first few days, I really didn't think she was gonna last long. At that point, I was just trying to buy her a little bit of time, because I knew that if I would have left her outside, she would have died that night. Some other insect would have killed her, or one of the chickens, or one of the birds, maybe one of the cats. All sorts of things would have got her. So I just wanted to buy her a little bit of time before she passes on. But it's been a month now, and over that month, I've got over the fact that I'm just keeping her to buy her a little extra time, and now it's to the point where she's more of just a companion to me than anything. I mean, she's like a pet. Sometimes I take her in the living room and I watch Trailer Park Boys with her, or I'll watch Shameless, and she normally just sits right on my knee and just grooms her legs the whole time while I'm watching it. I'll take her outside and I'll let her explore my mom's plants that we have all potted outside. I get her some fresh air, and I'm on this bug group on Facebook, and also on this Enthusiast of Social Wasp group, and everyone seems to really enjoy her. She actually has her own Facebook page that was requested by a lot of people for me to make, and it's called Venus the Wasp. And that's where I put a lot of her pictures I take of her updates. And now I think it's time for me to put her on YouTube. But, she's really active today. I mean, I'm glad she's trying to fly, but it's kind of breaking my heart because I know she can't. I want more than anything for her wing to get healed, so maybe she can go back to her nest if the other wasp will even accept her, or that if she was even in a nest with a bunch of other wasps. But I remember when I first started showing her off to the insect community and stuff. There was a lot of people telling me to just let her go and let nature take its course with her, and that she's really not going to last more than a few days. People were telling me to spray her with Raid, and that she's definitely going to sting me sooner or later. It's been a month, and I handle her just about every day. I clean her enclosure, I always give her fresh nectar. And she's never once showed me any sign of really, like, any type of aggression. Whenever I open her lid, the first thing she does is she crawls out of her little tote, and she crawls right onto my index finger, and her and I work with that little bond. So, yeah, I guess I proved a lot of people wrong. And what my message is with this is, honestly, don't follow the path everyone else goes on. Walk your own path, like walk off that trail and make your own path, and just go by your own judgment with really anything. I mean, wasps really aren't that aggressive. I don't even know if I'm allergic, and I'm giving this little girl a chance, and I know she's female. I counted her segments on her abdomen, so she's definitely a female. But make your own judgment about animals and other living things like that, and just prove people wrong about them. Be your own person. Like, she's never done anything to me wrong. You know, I mean, I've never been stung by a wasp in my entire life. Anytime I find one, and if I get that lucky chance to pick it up, which is most of the time, I never get stung. They're actually really, really pleasant little creatures. And I'm not saying they can't sting you, because I know they can. It's their best line of defense against really anything that's threatening them or their nests, the babies. So I mean, it's really neat that something so tiny does have a really good form of defense to ward off things that it doesn't want around it. But that doesn't give me a reason to hate it or to think that, this wasp is just gonna be out to get me or anything. It just give him simple respect. That's all they really need. But yeah, I found her with her damaged wing, and I decided to take her in because I didn't want her to die that way. You know, I mean, she's been really peaceful here. She doesn't cause any trouble. So she's really cool. She's really nice. But this is pretty much her story. On what goes on. Well, of what happened to her and why I have her. But she's been pretty inspiring to me. Like, one thing she taught me is that there's a lot of things that seem ugly in the world that really aren't. A lot of people misinterpret wasps as very aggressive insects that are just assholes that really don't have a purpose. But I've never met an aggressive wasp in my life. I honestly just feel like they just want a little bit of simple respect. So that's what I give them. I don't kill them. I don't hate them. Even if I got stung and if I was allergic, I wouldn't have any negative feelings towards these creatures, because I know it's just what they can do. And if I get stung, then it obviously means that I did something to make the wasp feel threatened, or maybe I hurt it. So there's nothing wrong with sticking up for yourself and defending yourself and stuff like that. These guys are like little warriors. Pretty brave, but that was a story on her, and that's pretty much why I have her. A lot of people have been asking me. So that's my video of Venus and her story.